Hi guys, so this is the video for business environment and then we're on assignment 2 now. So we already started yesterday, P5, so describe the influence of two contrasting economic environments on business activities within a selected organisation. That's your scenario that's on the screen now. And then we are doing at the moment tasks 1 to 3, so that's P5. So we're going to be describing how an economic boom and recession affects Tesco as a business. Compare the challenges Tesco may face when trading in an economic boom and recession. And then your answer should focus on comparing 3 different business activities. And task 3 that we started yesterday was just to summarise Tesco's business activities in the UK. So your answer should include like the number of stores, type of stores and type of products and services they offer. So I want to know within the supermarkets the different types of supermarkets that they've got, and then also different other aspects that they have as well, such as banking, insurance and things. Put in there maybe the amount of money that they've made or lost recently, how many stores they've got, number of employees, lots of different information that you can find on the business. So we need more than what we put on Unit 1. So the dates then, so we've got 7 weeks in which to get this piece of work in, but in those dates we also need to do all of our corrections for the last assignment. So in 7 weeks we need to hand in the whole of Unit 1 fully completed. So we've got about 21 lessons to do 9 tasks for those of you that are going for distinction. So I think for people going for distinction it's going to be a really good idea if we get tasks 1 to 6 done by Christmas in the next 4 weeks, so that we've got lots of time to concentrate on merit and distinction before we move on units. So task 3 then, you already started. For those of you that weren't present, I just want you to write about a page on Tesco and what they do in the United Kingdom. Then we're going to be looking at tasks 1 and 2, but I'd like to put those both together to make it a bit easier for you. So task 1 then is describe how an economic boom and recession affects Tesco as a business. Then we're going to be comparing the challenges Tesco may face when trading in an economic boom and recession. So your answer should focus on comparing 3 different business activities. I then put a structure below of how I'd like you to set it out. I won't go through straight away as it's not going to make much sense until we've gone through the next slides. So I'll go through this with you later. Basically, it just tells you how to go through each paragraph. The first 7 relating to booms, the last 7 referring to the recession, and then you need to give me where I've put the stars, different areas in which a boom would affect Tesco. So you need to talk about 3 for a boom and then the same 3 for a recession, so how they'd be affected. So firms are affected then by external factors. So that means things like laws and regulations, competition, technology, demographics, economic factors, amongst others. So we're going to be looking at for this assignment just the economic factors, and in particular we're going to be looking at the trade cycle, or the business cycle it's also called. So firms have no control over economic growth, but it definitely affects firms. Firms have to be responsive in order to survive the different cycles of the trade cycle and plan ahead where possible. So this link here takes you to a video on what the trade cycle is. Then I've taken this straight from the BBC GCSE website, and that just gives you a little bit more information about economic activity and downturn and slumps. So that's what we call as recession, and then upturn or booms, and what that happens with their economic growth. So it's just a little bit of background reading for you to do. So the impacts of a trade cycle then. So the trade cycle will affect different firms in different ways according to the type of good or service that the business sells. So Ferrari, for example, would do better in booms because people have got a lot more money, and Aldi might be a type of business that does better in recession because people are trying to save money, so they'll spend less, so they prefer stores that sell cheaper items. So managers of businesses have got to plan ahead and make changes in the business so that they can survive in the different economic periods as best as possible. So if they don't make these plans and make changes, they might struggle to compete and therefore close down. So the impacts of the trade cycle then, these are the different areas that can be affected by different cycles of the trade cycle. So it's business objectives, marketing, production, HR management, finance, labour, supply and demand, and prices. So I am going to do a little bit of speaking about each one whilst I'm staying on this screen. So, number one then, business objectives. So during a recession, a producer of luxury goods might need to change the corporate objective from growth or profit maximisation to one of survival. During a recession, revenue is bound to fall. The key to survival is to minimise losses. The strategy can be achieved by introducing a package of cost-saving measures. Some of these changes might permanently damage the competitiveness of the business. For example, cutting back on expensive new product development will leave the product with an ageing product range in the future. However, if the firm does not cut costs now, the business might not have a future to worry about. In a recession, managers usually have to make difficult and unpopular decisions. Marketing. So some businesses react to recession by changing the marketing strategy to emphasise value for money in an attempt to hold up revenue at a time when the market might be shrinking. Some companies might consider reacting to a recession by cutting prices to help boost sales. However, this might be risky because a price cut might cheapen the brand's image, resulting in a loss of sales once the economy recovers. Production. Sales of luxury goods fall during a recession. To prepare, producers of goods should aim to cut production sooner rather than later. Cutting production cannot be achieved overnight, however. For example, suppliers of raw materials and components will probably have minimum notice periods written into the contracts. If the firm waits until sales start falling before cutting production, the likely result is likely to be a build-up of stock. Stock is expensive to store and it also ties up cash. So during recessions, expansion plans tend to be shelved because the extra capacity created by expansion will not be needed at a time when sales are expected to fall. So it's human resource management. During a recession, a manufacturer of luxury goods might not be needed as many staff because there's not as many goods are being sold. One way of slimming down a workforce is via compulsory redundancy. So getting rid of staff because they are not needed anymore is expensive. It might create negative publicity and it's bad for staff morale. A better alternative may be to reduce your wage bill via natural wastage. So this involves suspending recruitment, by not replacing employees who leave or retire. Workforce numbers will fall naturally without the need for redundancies. So some firms use the job insecurity created by a recession to force through changes in working practices that are designed to reduce costs. So during a recession, job opportunities elsewhere tend to be scarce. Ruthless managers might use this to their advantage. They would argue that the whole business will be leaner and fitter as a result. Then finance. So firms fail when they run out of cash. Creditors with unpaid bills take them to court. During recessions, producers of luxury goods leak cash because of low demand. Logically, the best chance of survival is for those businesses that start the period of recession with healthy balance sheets, low borrowing levels, and high liquidity. To conserve cash during an unprofitable period of trading, a business could A. Carry out a programme of zero budgeting throughout the organisation to trim any waste from departmental budgets. They could restrict the credit given to customers and chase up debtors who currently owe the firm money. They could rationalise or sell off any underutilised fixed assets such as machinery and property. This will bring cash into the business. Labour then, that's impacted because during a boom, there's probably not going to be as many people out of work. Therefore, it might be harder for Tesco to recruit the right members of staff as they might stay where they are. In a recession, they might also need to lay people off. However, if they did need to hire new people, then there's probably a wide pool of talent out there because a lot of people lose their jobs from other businesses due to redundancies, and therefore these people might be looking for work. So if Tesco did need to hire anyone new, they might have people with really, really good skills to employ because they'd lost their job elsewhere. We'll go through the remainder of these in lesson, as I want you to have a think about each yourself and also go through and research and find information out. I have an example answer that I will be bringing to you in lesson, and we will go through how to answer the question and structure, because I want to know for each one out of the points on the screen at the moment, I want you to choose 3 and decide how a boom and a recession would affect that aspect of the business by a boom or a recession, how it's affected in terms of Tesco. Okay, thank you. Bye.